So why, out of all the beautiful islands in the Philippines, did we choose Bohol to build our eco-dream home? Was it a midlife crisis? Was it for the cheaper beer? Or was it something deeper? In this video, we're going to share with you the 5 main reasons we packed up our lives and escaped the rat race and built our life here on the beautiful island of Bohol.
Welcome to Bohol!
Firstly, to us, Bohol offers a much slower and much better quality of life.
Without needing to be a millionaire.
I love living in Australia, but when I lived in Sydney, it was not uncommon for me to spend 60 to 90 minutes in traffic each way to work every day. Then you had the parking fees of somewhere between $20 to $50, and then there was tolls as well of up to $30 a day, and that's before I even had a cup of coffee. Even in Cebu, we could spend an hour just sitting in traffic just to crawl 10 kilometers, and Manila, well, that's even worse. In Bohol, we don't have parking fees, we don't have tolls, we don't have much traffic. The worst delay we'll get in traffic is a cow sitting in the middle of the road or a family of goats crossing the road and taking their sweet time. Life just moves at a slower pace here, and when people say good morning to you, they actually mean it. And if they're not saying good morning, they're probably calling out Mahao. And the beautiful thing is that even if they don't have much, they're still willing to share it. Let's eat. You spend less time commuting, more time outside, and far less time worrying about shit that doesn't matter. And somehow the days just feel much longer. And then there's the obvious. Living in the Philippines, and especially Bohol, is just so much cheaper than living in Australia, the US, or even nearby cities like Cebu. And that lower cost of living has given me the freedom that I never thought I'd be able to experience. Recently I've been asked by a few people, how did I retire at the age of 46? And while it's quite personal and I don't want to come across as being a dick, I'll try and give you the short version. It's basically 2014. I was working in Sydney and I got offered a job to set up and run a health club in Alice Springs, which is in the middle of the Australian desert, middle of nowhere basically. They paid me far too well and I ended up sticking around for 6 years, and whenever I got enough money to put a 10% deposit on a rental property, I would buy one. I ended up with 4 rental properties in Australia and 2 in the Philippines. When they all went up in price, I basically sold them all, paid off my mortgage of my personal house, and took that cash and moved to the Philippines. And then after a 45-hour work week, because there wasn't much to do in Alice Springs and I wanted to get ahead, I'd end up selling tacos at the markets on Sundays and also sometimes Thursday nights. That one house I sold in Australia more than covered the build here at Corellia, which was 160,000 Australian dollars. That is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a guest house with another bathroom, 80 square metre terrace with a pool on 1,440 square metres. What it costs to build our dream home is less than what it would cost for a tiny home on wheels in Australia. The decision to sell up and move gave me more than just this house. It gave me my time back. It gave me time to follow my passions, to create, and space to really live. Also, from the proceeds from the house, I was able to buy a couple of Airbnb properties near Alona Beach here in Bohol, and that gives us enough monthly income to not live extravagantly, but comfortably. Now, I obviously don't make as much money as I used to when I was living in Australia, but with a lower cost of living here and changing my mindset as to what is actually important and what I actually need means that I can live a much simpler, more grounded life without feeling like I'm missing out. In 2015, my dear mum, she retired after working more than 45 years. And just 2 years later, we lost her to pancreatic cancer. We actually booked a trip to come to the Philippines. She'd never seen it. She never made it. Seeing Mum miss out on so much that she wanted to do, I decided that with my life, I was going to do what I want to do and live my life. I'm not going to wait till I'm 65. And that's another reason why I decided to pack up my life and build my dream house now when I'm 46 and I can still enjoy it with my partner April. Didn't mean to get that emotional, sorry.
Ano imong ngalan? Zane? Ako si Matt. In April. Ikaw?
Nathan. Nathan.
Nathan? Nice to meet you. And you?
Ellsberg. Ellsberg.
Alsberg? Oh, it's a nice name.
We've just moved in and we already have some fruit trees in the ground. But over the next few weeks, we hope to have our own veggie gardens and some chickens for eggs. In the meantime, we have the most amazing fresh market. It's only 15 minutes drive and they have everything from fresh seafood to chicken, pork, beef, eggs, baking needs, even beer. Everything is so cheap and the taste of the vegetables and the fresh produce here in Bohol are just amazing. We installed an 8.8 kilowatt solar system with 20 kilowatts of battery storage. This thing cost me half of what it cost in Australia. Now we have covered all our electricity needs and, of course, no power bills.
And transportation is super affordable, despite the petrol prices only being about 15% cheaper here in Bohol than Australia. If you get a ride share like a Grab, it is around about $2.75 Australian or 100 pesos to go 4 kilometres. That same ride in Australia would cost you around 20 bucks. The Philippines is a place that is blessed with an abundance of natural beauty. But here in Bohol, nature isn't just something you visit on the weekends. It's part of your daily life. It's your background music, it's your neighbour, it's your therapy. And yes, it is your 5 a.m. alarm clock, courtesy of the local roosters.
We have dragonflies chasing each other through the house, birds come to visit, and we have random chickens strutting through the yard like they own the place. And that's without leaving the house.
No matter where we are in our house, we wanted to feel connected to the outside. It's grounding and it makes everyday life feel, well, more alive. And when we want the postcard stuff, it's just around the corner. We've got the iconic chocolate hills, rivers, rice fields, waterfalls, beautiful Panglao beaches like Alona, and the Tarsier Sanctuary, which is home to the world's smallest primate, which is native to Bohol and just so happens to be only 10 minutes drive from our house. We even have our own theme park, which is only 15 minutes from our house. It's called Mirrors of the World, and basically it's miniatures of all the monuments around the world. It even has a kangaroo, so I feel quite at home, but he's must be nervous because he's done a little poo. Cheeky Roo. Got the Colosseum over there, we've got Hollywood, the big Jesus fella from Rio de Janeiro, Statue of Liberty down the front there, Golden Gate Bridge, got the Easter Island, big heads, Mount Rushmore, Leaning Tower of Pisa, or the Tilting Tower of Pisa as April just called it, and the Eiffel Tower. Even has a big bend, or is that Little Bend? The air's fresher, the stars are brighter, and even the silence sounds better here. It's the kind of place that gently reminds you to slow down and take a deep breath, and then probably shoot a noisy rooster for dinner. One of the things we really love about living in Karelia, specifically in Bohol, is we feel like we're in the middle of nowhere. It's peaceful, it's quiet, we're really connected to nature, but in reality, we're still very well connected. We have everything we could possibly need, all within a very short distance. Hey, Knight, where do they live? Where do they live? Oh, that's how we point in Bohol.
Yeah, if it's nearby and you can see it.
Over there. Which you never know how far that is.
Well, kind of, just like there.
Within just a 15 to 20 minute drive from us, we have 7 major hardware stores which have everything you would find in a larger city. We've got 2 hospitals, we've got a massive shopping mall and a beautiful fresh market, as well as many fantastic restaurants to eat. And when we feel like a change of scenery, we have some of the world's best beaches just a 50-minute drive from us. That's less time than it took me to drive to work in Sydney.
So we get to enjoy all the benefits of rural life, the space, the peace, yes, the roosters, without sacrificing things that make life a little bit easier. And when we want to catch up with friends or we want a little bit more action, we just hop on a boat. It's 2 hours to get to Cebu. So we feel that we have the best of both worlds. We have a grounded village lifestyle, but with all the modern conveniences that we want. You know how sometimes you visit somewhere and you think to yourself, wow, this is a place that I could live. Well, I've been coming to Bohol now for 20 years, and back in the day, I was the only white guy for miles. But I always remember that when I arrived, I felt at ease and comfortable, and out of anywhere in the Philippines that I've visited, in fact, anywhere in the world, I just felt like this was home. And yes, it has more tourists than it might have had 20 years ago, but it still has that island charm and vibe that I used to love. For us, the move here wasn't just simply about ticking the boxes. It just felt right. There's a real connection here to the land, to the people, and a much more simpler, grounded, more intentional way of living.
It's not where we just build a house. It's a place where we're building a life. Probably a life that's a little bit slower, probably a little bit messier, but in the end, it's a lot more us. You could call it a midlife crisis, or perhaps it's a wake-up call. But sometimes you stumble across a place that doesn't just fit who you are, but who you're actually becoming.
And for us, that place is Bohol.
So that's why we did it. Not to escape life, but to create a better one. One with more time, more connection, more meaning, and yes, more roosters than we bargained for. We started this channel just 5 months ago in December 2024, and we never dreamed that we would get to 20,000 subscribers. It really blows us away. But what really touches us even more is so many people have reached out to us and said that by watching our videos, it's inspired them to change their course of life and retire early in the Philippines. It's crazy.
I know.
We appreciate everyone's feedback, and I guess we'd start to ask the question, when is enough enough? Enough money, enough chasing, enough comparing to other people. For us, enough was reevaluating the shit that's actually important to us, stepping away from that rat race and choosing a life that's much more simple, much richer, but with a lower cost of living. It's a life where people are warmer, the veggies taste so much better the way they used to, and we wake up in the morning feeling energized and free. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you know someone that might enjoy it as well, please share it with them. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with what's happening here at Corellia Homestead. We are the Grounded Nomads. Till next time, take care. Oh, you're late with your thing. I'm gonna go get my shotgun and shoot those roosters.